Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, we'd like to seek the blessings of Radha Mata, Radha Shyam, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Govinda, Shila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees, so that we can continue with the summary of Bhagavad Gita. Today we're looking at chapter 15, which is a very interesting chapter. It's called Purushottam Yoga, Yoga of the Supreme Person. Purush is male, Uttam is the topmost, and Purushottam Yoga, Yoga is Yoga. So this talks about Purushottam Yoga, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. So, very interesting chapter as always. Initially, Krishna gives an example of the banyan tree, which has a reflection in water. So, in the same way, the real world has a reflection in water. The real world is a spiritual world, the reflection is water. So, in that way, we can understand that this world is like a mirror of the spiritual world. But it's like a reflection actually in water. It's not real as such. Or it is real, but it's very temporary. While they may look similar from a distance, the spiritual world and the material world may look similar. The spiritual world is where reality, substance, and true satisfaction is found. On the other hand, the reflected tree of the material world is complicated. It is intricate and completely topsy-turvy, since the roots are upwards and the branches downwards. So when we see a reflection, everything is upside down. When we see the mirror, we can see similar, but reflection means upside down. So this world is upside down, completely opposite of the spiritual world. Bird-like individuals frantically search for juicy fruits on the reflected tree. So we're trying to find satisfaction in this world. But the substance which brings satisfaction is lacking. We can never get satisfaction in this world because everything changes. Everything gets destroyed. As Krishna says in the 11th chapter, time I am the destroyer of all the worlds. Krishna urges the reader to cut down this illusory tree with the weapon of detachment and end the futile endeavors for permanent fulfillment in a temporary fantasy world. So this world, although it's real, it's temporary. We won't get full satisfaction here. So Krishna, he recommends that with the weapon of detachment, with the weapon of knowledge, try to end our association with this world. If we end our association with this world, that means we will be heading towards the spiritual world. So the lesson in for this part of the Bhagavad Gita, these 5 verses, is to consider this place as a hotel rather than a home where we are temporary. So if we went to a hotel, we wouldn't decorate it. We wouldn't buy furniture. We wouldn't put up paintings. Right? We wouldn't knock this wall down or that wall down because it's a hotel. We know we're only going to live here a little while. And then we're going to go back to the spiritual, we're going to leave the hotel. So in the same way, this world is like that. It's like a hotel. We need to understand that this place is very temporary. We're not going to live here forever. So let's make plans to go back to where we can live forever. Just like you stay in a hotel for a short period of time, we're going to stay in this world for a short period of time. Let's make the most of it. And at the same time, find that place that we really belong. Okay, summary of text. 6 to 11. Now, in these verses from 6 to 11, Krishna gives a glimpse of the spiritual world. Because he says there's no electricity needed, there's no sunshine needed. Although the sun is there and the moon is there, the effulgence from the Lord is so bright, they're not needed. It gives a glimpse of the spiritual world, showing how its nature is perfect, complete, and fully satisfying to all. Once having gone to the spiritual world, one never returns to this material world. In this material realm, an individual hops from tree to tree, acquiring various material bodies based on worldly desires they cultivate through life. So this is what's happening. We keep getting new and new bodies depending on our karma, on our desires, and on our consciousness. Three things. So we keep jumping from tree to tree, branch to branch, try to enjoy in this world. At the time of death, through the subtle workings of reincarnation, one receives a body which is tailor-made to facilitate such desires. So if our desires are material, we'll get a suitable material body. If our desires are material to sleep, for example, if we like to sleep a lot, then God will give us a body which is very suitable to sleep in, like a bear body, a body of a bear who sleep maybe 6 months a year. Man proposes, God disposes. That's a very common saying. Thus, different life situations are meant to teach us a simple lesson. We are looking for the right thing, happiness. Everybody is looking for happiness. Nobody is looking for unhappiness, right? Everybody wants to be happy. But we're looking in the wrong place. So this lesson from these 6 verses is to understand that the spiritual world is our real home. That's where we belong. So the first lesson was this world is temporary. Second lesson is this world, the spiritual world is our real home. And then these 4 verses, Krishna explains, one who is entangled within this reflected tree of material existence can develop his Krishna consciousness by appreciating Krishna as the maintainer on all levels. We have to understand that God is maintaining us on every single level. He maintains our gross physical body by arranging the fundamental resources that provide the energy of life, right? The water we drink, the air we breathe, the food we eat, that's all provided by God. Who gives us air? We can't go out and buy air. Of course, nowadays you can buy fresh air. But air comes from the Supreme Lord. Water comes from the Supreme Lord. Food comes from the Supreme Lord. He also maintains our subtle capacities by facilitating knowledge, remembrance, and also forgetfulness. If we've remembered all our past lives, we would be in a terrible situation because we will always be thinking about that person who gave us difficulty. And if we remember our past lives, there will be so many difficulties we'll remember. So many people we want to take revenge on. So God helps us by forgetting our past lives. He also gives us remembrance, so we can remember Him, remember ourselves, who we are, and how we connect with God. And He facilitates knowledge through Bhagavad Gita especially. And finally, most importantly, Krishna maintains our spirituality by offering ways and means to achieve self-realization and escape the dangerous cycle of repeated birth and death. So He maintains us on every level. Even He says, I am the fire of digestion. He provides the fire which digests our food. So we can't actually do anything without the Lord. He maintains us on every level. So this is the lesson to learn. Krishna, He is looking after us at every level. Even though our false ego might think, oh, no, I'm doing it myself. No, actually, we are being looked after by the Supreme Lord. We have to understand. And then these five verses, 16 to 20 is the last part of the chapter. So here Krishna gives us ways out. Previously, Krishna summarized the Bhagavad Gita in 4 verses in the 10th chapter. And now he again summarizes the teachings in 3 verses. He says, fallible living beings, that's us. We live in this material world because we wanted to be independent of God. We want to enjoy without God. So there are also those living entities who are always in the spiritual world. Over 75% live in the spiritual world. We are a small minority in this world. Most people, souls, live in the spiritual world. They are called infallible. They never leave the spiritual realm due to their undeviated desire to be with the Lord. And beyond both fallible and infallible, there is the Lord, God. Now, in another passage, Krishna reinforces that the living entity never becomes God. So we are separate from God. We're different from God. God is always God, and we are his servant. Since even liberated souls have their separate identity in the spiritual world. So everybody has their own spiritual identity, unique, different from everybody else. And the Lord has his own spiritual identity, which is all-pervading, all-knowing, omniscient, omnipresent, like that. Knowing Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one engages in bhakti. So Krishna gives the way out of this world by performing bhakti. And the lesson to learn, we can never become God. We are always his servant. But here in this world, servant means something inferior position, right? Servant master in this world. Because the master can tell the servant what to do, and he has to do. But in the spiritual world, the servant has a supreme category. Because the servant always wants to serve the master, Krishna. But Krishna is very kind and humble. He doesn't like always to be served. He likes to serve himself. But the devotee will say, no, my dear Lord, I don't want you to serve me. I'm going to serve you. So this competition is going on. And the devotee wins that competition because his desire to serve the Lord is very strong. So Krishna becomes indebted to that devotee. He becomes under the control of that devotee. So the servant becomes the master of the Supreme Lord. So this is the position of the servant in the spiritual world. It's not like here. The position of the servant is exalted. So 3 things to remember in this chapter. This place, we consider it as a hotel rather than a home. The spiritual world is our home. And Krishna is always our maintainer. Even though our false ego thinks, oh, there's a fourth as well. We can never become God. We're always his servant. So chapter 15 is like that. Let's have a quick look at chapter 16. Chapter 16 is, Krishna talks about the divine and demoniac natures. And he focuses on the demoniac. Because in Kali Yuga, most people will have a demoniac nature. And not a good nature, not a kind nature. So let's have a look at this chapter. It's first 6 verses. Yes, Bhagavad.
Hare Krishna. What is demonians?
Demoniac means very bad mentality. greedy, lusty, angry, like that.
So the divine and demon's nature is divine demon is same.
Divine means good nature, and demoniac means bad nature.
Oh,
In this chapter, Krishna
and demon bad.
Sorry.
All right, thank you. I got it. So the person is the person nature is no good and he's bad.
He's bad.
Is bad. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
That's right.
Carry on, please. Thank you.
On the tree of the material world, divine qualities are said to elevate us. They're good because we behave nicely, whereas demoniac qualities result in degradation. We go downwards, hellish condition. These are the results of natures and nurture, while we undoubtedly carry impressions from our previous lives. Yesterday, we were talking about how Madhuban was saying, how when children are young and we give them spiritual training, is very good for them. But that spiritual training can also come from previous lives. Samskars, good samskars. When they're young, it's very good to give them spiritual experience. So we can carry impressions from our previous lives. Our willpower, determination, activities in this life can significantly alter our nature. So we can, even if we have a bad nature, we can actually, with determination, improve it. Krishna describes 26 divine qualities, and then he talks about the 6 major demoniac qualities, which is lust, anger, greed, attachment, envy, pride. So the lesson to learn is we should recognize our weaknesses and use them to our advantage. By recognizing our bad qualities, we can earnestly pray to the Lord to guide us. See, if we know that our attitude is wrong, we can use that to our advantage. My dear Lord, you know my attitude is bad. Please help me. Only you can help me. So that prayer, the Lord will accept, understand, and help. If we're always very good, we might become a little bit proud. Oh, I am so good. I'm so nice. That pride will bring us down. So this is quite interesting. Verses 7 to 20 of chapter 16. Krishna distinguishes the activities, mentality, and qualities of one who has demoniac propensity. Such miscreants, such crazy people are cast into repeated births in undeveloped lower species of life. While this may sound like the harsh, judgmental God of dogmatic religion, such treatment is the most progressive course of action to gradually uplift such individuals. Demoniac philosophy, mentality, and activities generate immeasurable anxiety for the individual and cause great disruption in this material wider society. It is a case of, however, hating the disease, not the diseased. Hate the sin, not the sinner. This was one of the sayings by Jesus Christ. We should hate the sin, not the sinner. The bad action is what we should not like. The person is spiritual, but his behavior may be bad. So it's the behavior that we are against, not the person. And the lesson from this is we should try to curb the demon within us. We know when we're doing crazy things. Right? We know. So we should try to reduce as much as we can the demon that is there, the craziness that is there within us. So, verses 21 to 24. Krishna warns that lust, anger, and greed are the 3 causes that take us to hell. Lust, anger, greed. The gateway to heaven, to hell rather. Such hellish planets are not eternal prisons for the errant soul, but places of reformation where stern lessons help one to realign our vision. So we should understand hell is not a place we're always going to be. It's a place where we have to go if we've done something wrong, to suffer, to get cleansed again, to reform ourselves. For one who wants to avoid such shock treatment, the scriptures act as a guidebook for gradual purification and ultimate perfection. So we are very fortunate. We have the Bhagavad Gita, which is our guidebook to live in this material world. It recommends a regulated lifestyle by which one can easily transform selfishness to selflessness, lust to love, and quarrel into cooperation. So there's a lot of work we have to do, but the Bhagavad Gita is there to help us do this work within ourselves. There's a lot of transformation that has to take place within ourselves. But we're lucky, we have got the guidance from Krishna how to do that. And lesson 66 is always be positive. Generate positive energy by thanking God for everything. And thus avoid 3 gates to hell. Thank Him for everything. Every moment, every few minutes, we should thank God. Oh dear Lord, thank you so much. Even if it's not, even if it's challenging, thank you, my dear. When we say thank you, He will give us. Sometimes, even when we're having a really hard time, and simply we say, thank you, my dear Lord, a burden is lifted. Automatically a burden is lifted. We thank Him for everything. This is very good to have positive thoughts. Nowadays, most people are very negative, very negative. Hardly you will find somebody positive, hardly in this world. Everybody has something against somebody. They have an opinion about everything, and it's usually a bad opinion. But if we try to remain positive, have a positive spin on everything, then life doesn't seem so cruel. And that positive energy, especially when it's connected to God, will help us go closer to Him. So we want to thank God for everything He gives us, everything He does for us. So the summary of chapter 16, we should recognize our weaknesses and use them to our advantage. Curb the demon within us. Right? We know it. We will do something which, shouldn't have done that. Curb it. And generate positive energy by thanking God for everything. So, wanted to stop there. Any questions anybody has?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada.
Yeah, I missed yesterday one. I haven't seen it, but I will see later on. You know, earlier you said something about this, the Krishna kept that thing quiet that we will never remember our past life.
It's a good thing. Oh, I think she's frozen. Or am I frozen? Oh, carry on, Bhavan.
Yeah, you know, earlier Krishna says, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That we don't remember our past life. Yes.
Yeah, because Krishna kept it quiet. Krishna says, if you remember your past time, then you always remember He has done this and He has done that to me. And which we don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's good. But even in this life of anything has happened in the
Yeah.
past, we still remembers it,
Exactly.
and we want to forget it. Really want to forget it.
Yeah.
We don't want to remember it at all. And just we want our world to be good.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And you said that we think we have to think this is a hotel. We are not going to live here permanent. We will
Yeah.
go one day.
Like a hotel
Leave
room.
this. Yeah, we will leave the hotel room and we'll go and try to think to go in the good places. No, we don't want to come back into hotel again. And that is very good, because as you was reading it, it's still coming in your background that I mean, in Gujarati they say that we are on the train, and one day the station come and we drop off.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, our station comes and we will leave the train, and that's it. Our life. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, Prabhuji, you say 26 divine things. Can you qualities? Can you give me example, one or two, or I just?
Yeah. Humility.
Okay.
Steadfastness. Whether one is happy or unhappy, one is steady. Peaceful.
Okay.
Like also always wanting to learn, like taking a guru, like that.
So human swabhav, human nature.
Subhav. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good.
And second thing, I got one question today. What is બ્રહ્મ આપણે કહીએ ને કોઈને બ્રહ્મ સ્વરૂપ, આ બ્રહ્મ સ્વરૂપ છે ને કોઈને આપણે એમ કહીએ પરમાત્મા નથી કહેતા, આપણી પરમ આત્મા કહીએ, રાઈટ? પરમાત્મા અને પરમ આત્મામાં શું ડિફરન્સ?
Param Atma is like a person who has ખબર પડી ગઈ છે કે he is a spirit soul and his life is dedicated to the supreme spirit soul. So he is the topmost living entity because he is a bhakta. And ખબર પડી ગઈ છે કે ભગવાન સિવાય કઈ નથી.
So he win Atma. He knows what's Atma.
He knows himself, Atma, and he knows the Paramatma.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about
Brahma, that is actually Brahman is
no,
God.
we know sometimes we say it's Brahm Swarup.
Brahm Swarup. So again, he's realized that the position of God. He has will. Emni ke he's become God, but એને સમજ પડી ગઈ છે કે who is God and એનો relationship શું છે ભગવાન હારે.
So Paramatma or Brahm Swarup,
Similar
they're not a God, but similar to God. They're near to God.
He's become a bhakta of God, devotee of God.
Okay. Okay,
that's right.
And sometimes we use other word, I forgot. Chidanand Swarup or something we said, not Chidanand, or Gunatit. તે દાખલા તરીકે સ્વામિનારાયણ ના ગુરુ છે, they always using our guru Gunatit Pramukh Swami, Gunatit so and so.
So he realized himself. He has understood that he is not the body.
Is it Gunatitanand or just Gunatit?
Gunatit, no, not
Gunatitanand?
No.
No, okay.
This is the like a Brahm Swarup, Paramatma Swarup. Like Gunatit is similar, yeah?
Yeah. Basically, it
Gunatit.
means that he's realized that he is not the body, he is the soul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the three, they એ લોકોને આત્મ સાક્ષાત્કાર થયો હોય એમ કહી શકાય?
Exactly. Very good.
કારણ કે I can't explain in English, but just
Yeah.
I think તેને આપણે એમ કહી શકીએ કે આ લોકોને આત્મ સાક્ષાત્કાર થયો છે એટલે એ લોકો સંભાવમાં જ હંમેશા રહેતા હોય એવું?
That's it. They're always happy in within themselves because they're self-satisfied. They have understood that they are spirit soul, connected to the supreme soul.
અને ભગવાનના 6 ऐश्वर्य એટલે ભગવાન એમ કહે છે ગીતામાં કે હું આ 6 ऐश्वर्य જે લોકો આ ગણાતીત છે કે જે ગુણાતીત છે કે બ્રહ્મ સ્વરૂપ જે પામેલા છે એને ઈ આપે છે તો ઈ 6 ऐश्वर्य ક્યાં છે?
Actually, Bhagwan, he's got these 6 qualities in full. Beauty, knowledge, fame, wealth, strength, and renunciation. 6 opulences.
Okay. And endless.
એના પાસે in full. Bhagwan પાસે full છે. એટલે ભગવાન કે Bhagwan means full of 6 opulences.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much for the questions. Very good.
Thank you.
Gita ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you.